The original 1966 Ultraman series is near and dear to my heart. I think I've watched this series more than any other TV show out there. Everything about it, from the masterful special effects by Eiji Tsuburaya to the gonzo kaiju designs, and even the groovy musical score. It's nothing short of a masterpiece. I thought about making an in-depth retrospective on the series, but given how many big projects I have in the pipeline right now, I figured I'd do a list video instead. So, without wasting any more time, these are my top 10 favorite Ultraman episodes. Number 10. Ultra Operation Number 1. What more can I say? It's the pilot for the original series. It sets up the characters in the world of Ultraman perfectly. It's a fantastic episode. Bemular is such a cool monster. I also think that the way the concept of Ultraman is introduced here is really well done. It's perfectly digestible to a kid, and I should know, as a kid, this got me hooked on the series and I haven't been the same since. This is one of the best TV pilots ever made, and it's a great place to start for any newcomers to the series. Number 9. The Monster Graveyard. I'm always someone that loves a good monster design, and they really delivered here with Bozu. The general premise for this episode is that there's a graveyard for monsters that gets discovered by a rocket. There's actually a few cameos from some previously defeated kaijus in Ultraman's Rogue Gallery, like Camular, Naranga, and Regon. I think the premise of having a kaiju graveyard is really unique. We're 35 episodes in now for this Monster of the Week type of show. I mean, the bodies have to go somewhere, right? Overall, it's a really fun and creative episode that adds some solid continuity to the series. Number 8 and number 7, The Monster Highness Part 1 and 2. This one is a two-parter, and I wasn't sure if I should count this as one episode or as 2 episodes, so I'll keep it simple and say Part 1 is number 8 and Part 2 is number 7. Anyways, the elevator pitch for this one is that Ultraman is actually beaten by a monster for once. Gamora successfully defeats Ultraman at the end of Part 1, and this is because Ultraman ends up losing the Beta Capsule, which acts as a cliffhanger leading into Part 2. Of course, he does end up defeating Gamora in Part 2, but it's still a really fun cliffhanger. It also adds to the tension knowing that Ultraman isn't really invincible and can be bested by other kaijus. Overall, this is a really fun one. It's great seeing a protagonist struggle because it makes their victory in the end feel 10 times more important. Number 6. The Mysterious Dinosaur Base. Yeah, this is the Jiris episode. Arguably, one of the most popular things to bring up is that the Jiris suit is just a Godzilla suit, but repainted and with a frill. Even Haru Nakajima, the suit actor that portrayed Godzilla throughout the Showa era, plays Jiris here too. So, in a way, this episode is basically just Ultraman versus Godzilla, but even then, it's just a fun episode, with a neat mystery acting as the driving force for the entire plot. Number 5. Brother from Another Planet. This is the introduction to one of my all-time favorite Ultraman villains, Zereb, who takes the form of a fake Ultraman and uses mind tricks to get humanity to bend to his will. Unlike other alien invaders, Zereb doesn't try to conquer Earth with brute force and destruction, but rather attempts to outsmart the humans and Ultraman. This makes the conflict more interesting as it ends up being a battle of wits, leading to one of the best episodes in the entire series. Number 4. The Lawless Monster Zone. Serving as the introduction to Red King, who is kind of like Ultraman's Anguirus? Kinda? This episode features a plethora of monsters. Pigman, a monster that I've always loved, makes his debut here and dies heroically while distracting Red King from killing the members of the Science Patrol. R.I.P. my boy Pigman. Meanwhile, other kaijus like Chandlar and Magular make appearances here too. As a kid, I loved this episode because it felt like the Godzilla movie Destroy All Monsters, with all these different kaijus popping up and appearing. It fleshes out the world of Ultraman and somehow makes it feel even more populated with a diverse range of creatures and characters alike. Number 3. 5 seconds before the explosion. Regon is such an interesting kaiju. It reminds me a lot of the Gargantuas, given how it eats humans. Even then, the Hayama Marina attack looks a lot like the airport attack from War of the Gargantuas. I love the sense of scale in the interior shots of Regon trying to grab our human protagonists. It is hilarious that a little kid with a butter knife actually hurts the monster. The scene where Regon attacks the ship at night is just so creepy as well. His glowing eyes really heighten the overall fear factor, with it somewhat resembling the Murray Bridge Bunyip animatronic. I'm a big fan of this monster, in case you couldn't tell, so that's why I ranked it so high. It's just a great episode, and the monster that Ultraman has to fight is just perfect. Love it. Number 2, Farewell Ultraman. A lot of TV shows absolutely shit the bed when it comes to ending on a high note. For every Breaking Bad, there's a million Game of Thrones, How I Met Your Mother, and 2.5 Men. Well, I'm happy to say that Ultraman is the gold standard of how you end a series like this. Zeton is such an intimidating and powerful villain. Defeating him seems like a near impossible task. So much so that the Science Patrol is nearly destroyed and Ultraman is fatally wounded. Without giving much away, it's a solid ending to one of the best shows in the history of television. Number 1, Shoot the Invaders. If you're someone that's seen my content already, you've probably noticed how many Baltan figures I have just in the background of my videos, so this might not exactly be a surprise to you. Shoot the Invaders is everything I want in a kaiju story. The human plotline is great, with our heroes having to deal with human-sized Baltans, while Ultraman is forced to deal with the threat later on in its kaiju-sized form. The Baltans are fantastic antagonists. They're so weird with their designs, but feel right at home in the world of Ultraman. They're also sympathetic villains, as they're later revealed to be alien conquerors whose planet was destroyed. Sure, they're evil and they want to wipe out humanity, but I like that their motivation is more than just, we're evil and here to conquer Earth. Like, they want a home too. Obviously, it shouldn't be here, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Beyond all that though, the atmosphere is really eerie and creepy, at times feeling like an episode of The Twilight Zone. It also has a little bit of like Scooby-Doo and like a campfire ghost story, which helps given the fact that this episode is structured around Ide explaining why he has a black eye. It's actually quite odd because this is the only time a character breaks the fourth wall and speaks directly to the audience. It's kind of corny, but I think it's what makes the episode work so well. And there you have it, my top 10 favorite episodes from the original Ultraman series from 1966. I might have messed up some of the pronunciations here and there, so I'm sorry. I've heard various versions of the dub and the sub, and yeah, so I probably messed something up. If I did, you can be annoying and let me know down below in the comments. Now, regardless, this show holds a special place in my heart, not only for its nostalgic value, but for its pioneering contributions to the tokusatsu genre. The creativity, dedication, and sheer fun that went into making each episode is palpable, and revisiting these classic moments always brings a smile to my face. Whether you're a longtime fan or a newcomer curious about the roots of Ultraman, I hope this list has given you a glimpse into what makes this series so special. Maybe it even inspired you to watch or rewatch some of these episodes yourself. So with all of that out of the way, I'm Cole McCormick, you're watching Firewood Media. Consider becoming a member to support the channel. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's right here on YouTube. For just $1.99 a month, you'll receive member shoutouts and your name featured as an executive producer in all of my film projects. There's going to be members-only videos and exclusive behind-the-scenes content that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, enjoy exclusive production updates and photos straight from the heart of Firewood Media. You don't have to if you don't want to, it's just an extra perk for anyone that wants to support the channel while getting to see some unique content. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.